Yes. Yes. I've only tried, I have tried to convert you for what? The last 5 years and be like, you know what? We need to do this. We need to do this. This is News on a Tuesday. And boy, my goodness, do we have things to talk about. There are endless things to talk about. And why? Because it has been a busy few weeks, especially the beginning of this week has just been super busy. And well, obviously, if you are living under a rock, as I always say, you already know there's a bunch of things that are coming your way. And what I wanted to lead off with was something I found, well, let's put it this way. How can you really go wrong with rocking and rolling through the day? And what I'm referring to the announcement of this new Lego idea set that is coming out, the Fender Stratocaster 21329. This thing is gorgeous. For a $100 price point, euros and USD, I'm super impressed with this thing. It has 1,074 pieces. It's pretty good. You have your Stratocaster, and it can be done in red or black. It has prints. It has a bunch of new prints and stuff like that. It actually has the guitar strap, which is printed as well. Obviously, it's printed. It's a fabric of some kind. Anyway, but you have your amp that goes on there. I think it's a foot pedal that comes with it as well. Really cool stuff that comes with this thing. Now here's my bugaboo of this thing. It's not like full size. And if you look at how it's built, you're like, that is cool. It's like a mini guitar. It's like a mini version of a guitar. It's not like a full playable, here we go, let's rock and roll, full size. Now, what would that cost here, Lego-wise? Cost what, $250 maybe? Something like that? I'd rather have the guitar instead of the amp. The amp, yeah, it looks cool. Your foot pedal dealio. You have that. You have the extra, the casing, so you can either make it the red or the black, which is fine. I like that. That is cool. That works. But here's what that does. That chews up parts. That isn't really a customization. It's red or black. Now, I don't know what Lego had to do to get this certified through Fender or anything like that. I'm not really sure. Come on. Geez Louise. Now, I will say, for what it is, it does look pretty legit. It does look really cool. Now, if you have had an opportunity to look at any of the photos of this thing, you're going to see how itty bitty this thing is in comparison, because you can hold not the neck. Is it called the base of the guitar? Is that what that thing is called? You can hold the base in your hand, which is kind of funky to me that you can do that. I mean, you have strings that are on this thing. I like the way that is done. That is really cool. Your amp looks really sharp on the inside and on the outside. I mean, there's a beautiful speaker that's built into this thing. It is really one of a kind. It is a true ideas project. It is really beautiful in the way that it is done. It's just tiny. You're going to feel like a giant playing a guitar, or holding a guitar for that matter, which I guess if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But if you're a musician, you might be like, you know what? I really like this. This is really cool. I could really enjoy this. It's a lot of fun. So I can't complain about that. I really can't complain about that. What I will say is, if you are somebody that is a displays person, somebody that really likes to put things out there and just put it on a shelf and be like, hey, you got friends that come over to your house. You're like, hey, do you like my display? I changed it up. I put this thing on here. That is something that you can do. Now, if you're wondering when this thing becomes available, it becomes available to you on October 1st. You can get it through lego.com. Now, the interesting thing is October 1st sees a few releases, particularly the Lego, what was it? I guess it's 18 plus, Creator Expert, whatever. The red truck, the farm truck, kind of, I'm going to call it a farm truck. The dark red truck that was available for pre-order releases October 1st. So I'm really excited for mine to be able to be shipped out. But Fender, I like this. I think it's a cool idea. I really hope it does well, just for the idea's sake of the project. I expected it to be somewhat bigger. The next topic of business that we have to get to is because we are coming fast and furious into the holiday season. My wife and I just had the discussion the other day, like, oh my God, Christmas, the holidays are going to be upon us before you know it. I mean, we're already a week into September. We are pushing fast. And September's going to fly by. October will fly by before you know it. Here in the United States, it's Thanksgiving and then Christmas, Hanukkah, and then Christmas, and then the new year. And here we go, 2022. New modular buildings and all the new stuff that comes that way. But the new news that everybody has been talking about is this Santa sleigh, 40499. It is Santa's sleigh. Likely it is coming out in October. Now, it's kind of interesting to think about that because here's what I found out. I talked with a Lego store employee and they said, yeah, we'll have them in October. Cool. Is it going to be October 1st? Is this going with the suspected new release of whatever Winter Village is coming? Potentially. Yes, I'm sure that is going to be a thing that it lines up with the Winter Village. Is it a GWP? It has a 4 to start the number. It falls under the iconic range. Is it going to be a GWP? How much am I going to have to spend? Am I going to spend $200? Because it's quite large. You have Santa and the reindeer here. I mean, this really isn't like hey, let's just build a tiny little sleigh and a brick-built reindeer. No, this is kind of what they did with the Christmas tree a few seasons ago where they had the train running around the bottom of it. You had this massive Christmas tree. That's kind of what is going on here. You have Santa, you have a sleigh full of toys, and the sleigh is beautifully built. And then you have 4 reindeer that go along with this. These reindeer aren't anything new, if I'm not mistaken. I think the prints are identical to what we saw, was it last year, I believe, or maybe 2 years ago? However, with that in mind, here's what you need to think about. This is a huge display piece. My wife and I had just had this conversation as well, where she was like, you know what? I think this year we really need to display some of the Christmas sets from Lego. Yes. I've only tried, I have tried to convert you for the last 5 years and be like, you know what? We need to do this. Every year it's like, no, I want to use my ceramic Winter Village, whatever they call it. I don't even know who makes it. Let me do this. I like this. It lights up. Girl, I can get this to light up. Come on. Let me have my plastic bricks to display out here. Like, come on. Let's go. People come over like, oh, it's so festive. You're darn right it is. Anyway, so that is coming fast and furious. The holiday stuff right before the holidays come. And it always seemed weird to me to be able to get the Christmas type stuff in October, things like that. You're kind of like, what? That doesn't make any sense. What is going on here? But nevertheless, it does happen. So something else, we're talking about sets. The new Harry Potter Hogwarts Icons set that was slated to be released September 2nd. Obviously, you guys know it's currently not available September 2nd. You can't go buy it off the shelf, or you can't buy it on Lego.com and have it shipped to your house tomorrow. That's just not the way it's working. It got pushed back till the 15th, the actual release date. You can, though, however, buy this thing as a pre-order. Pre-orders are being taken right now, and then on the 15th of September, it is going to ship, which is kind of like, what? What are you talking about? What is going on here? That doesn't make any sense. However, that is the case. And if you're a Harry Potter fan, you really, really need this. I'm telling you, if you listen to the review already, you already know how magical it is. And I already talked to a friend of mine that already pre-ordered theirs. Actually, I talked to 2 different people that have already pre-ordered it. Somebody that wasn't even a Harry Potter fan, but was all over this because of the size of the Hedwig. So that's also a good thing as well. So let's move into the very last topic that I wanted to share with you guys today. Let's talk about Lego ideas. I don't want to get take this deep dive where way engulfed into this thing, because I'm sure this is going to get beat to death. But what I find interesting is the current phase of projects that are available for review from the Lego Ideas team is now at 34. Yes, you heard me correct. Massive number. Now, the results for these are not expected until, sometime in the beginning of the year, Q1 of 2022. So we have some time. They're going to go through it and figure this out. But this was the second wave submission phase from 2021. it's going to be interesting to see what is chosen. And I will say, I looked through this list of all 34 many times. I probably spent an hour and a half over the last few days just taking a deep dive into them and looking like, okay, well, what could, what may not. And I'll just give you a few of my personal favorites. So I'm a modular person, and one of them is the costume store. I don't think it's going to get made. It's too close to a modular. I really just don't foresee that being the case. Another one that I found interesting was the Boston Dynamics Spot 1/4 scale motorized model. I thought that was really cool. I really like the way that is done. You have a medieval tavern as well. I don't know that those are going to get made. There's really not a whole lot that I really see being chosen. You've got like the GameStop. I just don't foresee that licensing happening. You know, the engine, the aircraft engine, which looks super duper neat. I love the way it's done. It's supposedly to a minifig scale, which is great. I just don't foresee that being enough. Now, I did talk to April B, and she said about the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine. That would be neat to see done just because of, its following and stuff. And if you're going to talk about following, you have the Knight Rider, your kit, and the Flagmobile command unit, which could be done. But for me, my big one that I want to see is the Jaws. The boat that they had out there, and then you have the brick-built Jaws. Like, that is such an iconic movie, 1975, still relevant to modern day. People still talk about Jaws and everything like that. I mean, that is something that is so important. That is something that is so ingrained into American cinema. It's just one of those things that just kind of needs to happen, to be frankly honest. I really think it does. Now, the other one is the House of Time. To me, I think, oh man, this is so wicked. You could hang this on the wall. You could do this with it. I'm thinking all the things that you could do as far as hanging on the wall and taking up a spot in a room and stuff, and what this might actually do and what it can do. And I thought, wow, that'd be so neat. But I really hope something like that happens. I really hope it's motorized. I really hope it's something like that. I hope it's not like if it does get chosen, hey, you have to supply the motors yourself. That would be a lot of crap in my opinion. And then, you roll out with the A-Team. I think April, I don't remember if April brought up the A-Team or not. The A-Team stuff, I don't really see happening. I just don't. Now, if they're going to go small, I could see it happening. But for the most part, I don't really see that being the case. But in this design phase, there were a lot of different buildings. I mean, we're talking about like medieval fortresses, medieval castles. You've got multiple modular buildings, one that has to do with the Nanny, the TV show. You have an architecture set of Copenhagen, Denmark. You have just all kinds of different type of things that fit a different narrative, that fit a different idea of what people enjoy, that I just don't honestly think are really going to make it. Now, what I found interesting to this was that Samuel Johnson, if you don't know who Samuel Johnson is, Sam Johnson is the lead designer for the Lego Ideas team. When I had an opportunity to be able to see the typewriter and chat with him and stuff like that, it was something that was fantastic. I mean, to be able to listen to somebody that's like, I have to take what this designer made and then turn it into a proper Lego product. Like, that's above and beyond. That's not just saying, hey, we're going to create a Lego City set, or we're going to create a Ninjago set. And I'm not taking anything away from the designers or any of you designers that might be listening to this, because I know there's a few of you that are. But that is very difficult to do. So with that in mind, what he did is, after Lego Ideas put up their tweet about the 34 projects that are going to be going through the next review phase, it was like a whoa response into it. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? How are we going to do this? Now, obviously IPs have a role in things. They're going to play a big role into some of this. When you're talking about a lot of licensed products, whether it be the Mystery Machine or the A-Team, or I mean, there's a number of them in here. The Boston Dynamics one that I like, that's a lot of headache to kind of deal with. So I really don't know how they're going to deal with it. I don't know how they're going to choose, but I will be anxiously awaiting the results. So to close out the show, remember, if you're anybody that lives in Texas or you plan on living in Texas and here in the next week and a half, we will be on an on-location live show at Bricks Colleen September 18th from 10 to 6 p.m. is when we will be there, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. They also have the show on the 19th from 10 to 5. It is at the Colleen Civic and Conference Center at 3601 South W.S. Young Drive. And that is where we are going to be. We're going to talk with some peeps and get some information from them and talk about their builds and stuff like that. And I plan to have a few Instagram live videos or videos at that, and some photos just to let you guys see what is there, because Colleen is a fairly small town. If you're not from Texas or you don't know Texas very well or the region very well, Colleen is very small. It is more of a military town due to the giant military base that is there. But anyway, in that case, that is where we'll be. So if you're interested, come say hi. We're going to have a few things there, and, just come say hi. So that's going to wrap up this segment of News on a Tues. Until next time, I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it.